Part 3 of 3 of the Louisiana Special School District's Board of Directors meeting, November 1st, 2022. Links to Part 1 and 2 are in the video's description.
Good afternoon. Thank y'all for being patient with us. We are just going to pick up where we left off. And we were able to hear everybody get situated. Okay, y'all, Mr. Morris has to leave, so what we want to do is move to agenda item number 7, update on the superintendent search, and then we will come back to the executive session personal matters. And I put a motion on the floor to move up agenda item 7 to right now. Thank you, Alicia. Do I have a second? Thank you, Audra. Does anybody have a concern with that? Okay, so the motion passes, and I will call Mr. Morris up to give an update on the superintendent search.
Todd, you're going to present it on the board.
I left that mic on up there, Ronnie.
Thank you. Everybody can hear me? So I wanted to, is that okay? So I wanted to provide everyone with an update on the superintendent search. So I represent the personnel committee. I'm chair of that committee. So working with the other committee members. And if you would, can I get the other committee members to raise their hands so we can recognize them? Dr. Bell, Kenny, Christy. So just want to make sure everybody recognizes who your personnel committee members are. And then give you some background here on the approach that we're taking for the search. So first of all, we contracted with SSA Consultants. As you can see here, they're a local company in Baton Rouge. They've been here since 1970. They provide expertise in a number of different areas, primarily in consulting services. But I asked them to give me a list of specific executive searches that they've conducted recently, so we can get some appreciation for their experience, as well as the high level of executive hiring that they've addressed. You can see from this list, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 executive directors, Louisiana Housing Corporation, American Board, Governor's Office of Coastal Protection and Restoration, Louisiana Emergency Response Network, Jefferson Chamber of Commerce, and Baton Rouge Economic Development District. So some appreciation there for who they are, the type of work they've done in the past, and that the personnel committee and the board have confidence in their ability to conduct this search. Next slide, please. I wanted to give you, wait, go back, there we go. Wanted to give you an update, so current status, as well as next steps, and then obviously, that final selection process. So with regard to current status, very excited that we have received about 70 applicants for the position. Again, it was a national search. The position has been posted on Indeed, LinkedIn, and CEASD. SSD has reviewed all the resumes, conducted 10 initial interviews, and they've begun reference checks for a short list of candidates. The superintendent ad will continue to be posted until December 1st. Now until then, on a rolling basis, they'll continue with interviews and reference checks. And then the position will be closed on December 1st. The ongoing approach, SSA and the Personnel Committee continue to conduct networking and outreach activities to make sure we have a strong pool of candidates. And then just an example here, a couple of recent contacts include the Conference of Educational Administrators of Schools and Programs for the Deaf, in addition to the American School for the Deaf. Next slide. So timeline looking forward. So we start the month of November today. So going forward for this month, we expect to develop a plan for stakeholder engagement. Everyone in the room should be interested in that one. So we want to set clear expectations that we'll be working on a plan to engage all of our stakeholders so everybody feels comfortable that they are part of this selection process. We will execute that plan, and then we will continue the month of November for outreach and recruiting efforts for the position until it closes on December 1. Then for the month of December, we'll start with second interviews with that short list of candidates that would be assumed by the Personnel Committee. And obviously the idea here is when we have that final group come to the site, we don't want any surprises. We want a really good, comfortable sense of qualifications, the skill sets, people skills, and so forth that we're bringing to the site for our community to meet. And then assessments, background checks, reference checks. This is at a deeper level, and there's a cost incurred with this as well. This isn't something that would be done for every candidate. So that with the finalists, there'll be an extensive background check as well as additional reference checks. In the month of January, we would expect the finalists to be selected. We'll have dates scheduled for in-person campus visits. That would include campus tours, specific stakeholder meetings, board interviews, and in the month of January, we'd like to see the new superintendent selected. So I'll just open it up if there's any specific questions. Right now, happy to take a couple. If you get home and something comes to you, happy to respond to a phone call or an email with regard to what you see here. Yes, ma'am.
Is it possible for those of us that are here to get written copies of this document that you just gave us so we can go over it?
Yeah, we can certainly share this. We can certainly share this. This is a public document here, no problem. Anyone else? Okay, great. So happy to provide you with this update. And again, the month of November, the plan is to reach out to stakeholders for input and share with you what that path forward looks like. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronnie. All right, so at this time, we are going to go back to agenda item number 6, the executive session personnel matters. So while we were in executive session, as board members, we had the opportunity to discuss and get some good data and information. And we just want to open it up to the board members so you as the public understand what we talked about in those 2 hours. Does anybody want to start? Okay, Audra.
Good afternoon. My name is Audra Muslow. I'm with Louisiana Association for the Blind in Shreveport. One of the matters we discussed in our executive session was the staff issue. We know there's a staff issue. We know it needs to be addressed immediately. The thought, just like with the superintendent search, is to conduct a nationwide search. We would want to work directly with the HR department and then look at hiring a recruiting firm so we can target these universities and colleges across the United States who have specific programs for VI and for deaf cultures and education. This is nothing against the wonderful institutions we have in the state of Louisiana. But the fact is, we need to broaden our search to help identify very qualified and skilled candidates coming out of undergrad or even graduate schools. So those are the next steps that we as a board will be taking. We'll be working with the HR department, looking at identifying recruitment firms, to basically cast a net to start working with these colleges and universities who have these targeted programs. Any questions or comments I may address? Thank you for your time.
Okay. Kenny?
Hello, everyone, and to the community. My name is Kenny Davis. We have gotten so many emails from the community, from the entire U.S. And we have gotten a request from the LCD, Louisiana Commission for the Deaf, with different items listed in there. We discussed amongst ourselves, it's very serious. And we do know that there needs to be cooperation and interaction, and it's up to the community. So we've considered it, and we are willing to meet. The SSD board is willing to meet with the LCD and have a discussion, and it will be surrounding the community needs and the items that are listed, and we're looking forward to that meeting. I believe that's it. Are there any questions? There's one in the back. Would you come forward, please?
If I could just offer one clarification there. I think what we agreed as a board is that the officers would agree to meet with the group. And it really would be extremely challenging to bring this entire board together, the travel and so forth associated with that. But we have made a commitment for the officers to meet with the group.
That is correct. You made clarification. Okay, my question is, some of the community members are wanting a town hall type of meeting, and I was thinking that maybe we should make that meeting public, where the two boards meeting, but we'd also have it in front of the community, so then the floor would be open for questions to be asked at the same time, and that is my question. Okay, we just got, we're gonna wait for Jay. Okay, thank you, Jay. We'll have the officers of the LCD and the officers of the SSD to get together. We have not talked about it being an open meeting. We just talked about getting together for that meeting, and that is the only thing we've discussed to this point. Okay, any discussion? Anything else? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ronnie?
So I apologize. I had a prior commitment for 4 o'clock with a large group in Baton Rouge, so I'm going to have to cut out of here after my comments. But I did want to share part of the board discussion also with regard to compliance issues. There is a statewide accountability system for all public schools in the state. I represent Betsy District 6, and I still serve on the Betsy Accountability Work Group, which is working right now to consider changes to that state accountability policy, which impacts all K-12 schools in the state. So accountability is a big issue everywhere. Specifically here during executive session, we heard about quite a number of serious accountability concerns. The accountability concerns were presented to us as findings from the State Department of Education, and the State Department of Education's findings are relative to federal requirements. So to operate this facility, to keep this facility open, to keep it funded, we have to be compliant with the federal government. And so there were a number of concerns raised in that area. The board received those concerns, and we've asked for a follow-up to address those concerns. We'll be hearing more about that, just as the board will be hearing more about that. But we are confident that the superintendent has identified those concerns, working on a plan to address those concerns. So we want to make sure that we share that with you, because we expect, as a board, we expect to have the highest standards at this school, going far and above just minimum compliance. So just wanted to share that with you. Excuse me.
Thank you, and I wanted to just comment after Ronnie, that report came from the Department of Education, and it's from the year 21 to 22. And there were a number of concerns that we have, especially the educators on the board that understand in running a school, you have to be compliant with all federal mandates. Okay, from executive session, did any other board members have any comments that they'd like to share with the public? Anybody? Edward?
I guess just to provide a little bit of transparency and clarity to a bit of the process. When we met on August 9th, we talked about the evaluation of the superintendent's performance, and that we wanted to do this in an objective way. And so, working with the SSD administration, we created a rubric that looked at several areas, including the academic performance, the governance, and the community engagement of the acting superintendent. And we then did several things. We asked the acting superintendent to conduct a self-assessment of her response to those rubric questions and feedback. We then hand-selected 25 of the top individuals in this campus who report directly to the superintendent and asked them to complete the same rubric. We then extended it to more than 160 other staff and constituents in the area for their feedback and comments. And as you may suspect, the comments were varied. There were some very, very critical comments, very negative comments, and there were some very positive comments. Overall, though, what we learned is that through collecting these objective data on the job performance of the superintendent, and by asking the superintendent then to respond to those questions or critiques, we were able to have a very robust discussion about her current job performance, and to have a greater appreciation for the intricacies of not only the compliance issues that have been mentioned, staffing shortages, which have been mentioned, professional development, which has been mentioned, recruitment and retention issues. And so I wanted just to make sure that everybody in the community understood that in approaching this endeavor and looking at the acting superintendent's job performance, we didn't just look at that today. We've been looking at it continuously since August 9th through various objective and subjective criteria, through rubrics and metrics and written comments from all constituents involved, weighing those concerns and comments against the actual data from what's happening at the various levels of the school. And I guess I, for one, am satisfied that we have done a very thorough job of evaluating the superintendent's performance, and feel that things are going as well as they can be going for the school right now. And I'm very proud of the process that we've conducted. I think that we as a board took this job very seriously, looked at it very rigorously, very in-depth, and created a more than 30-page report looking at every aspect of this question. And I feel very confident that we are where we are today.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Bell. Would anybody else from the board have any other comments that they'd like to share with the public? Okay, at this time, I'm going to make a resolution to accept the Board of Directors of the Louisiana Special School District delegating administrative powers and duties to the acting superintendent. Catherine Gagne shall continue to serve as the acting superintendent of the SSD until such time as a permanent superintendent is appointed by the board and accepts such appointments. She voluntarily relinquishes the role, or she is removed from the role by a majority vote of the board at a properly convened meeting of the board. Okay, do I have a motion to accept? Oh, read 2 as well? Okay, I'm sorry. Section 2, Catherine Gagne, in her role as the acting superintendent, shall be delegated the limited authority to adopt and promulgate revised policies addressing the Americans with Disabilities Act and remote work activities as mandated by the Louisiana Division of Administration and the Louisiana State Civil Service, respectively. Okay, do I have a motion to accept? Edward, do I have a second? So before, do I have a motion to second? I didn't see one. Does anybody motion to second? Kenny? Okay, thank you.
Yes, I second it.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we will have public comment on this. Y'all, let me call you. Okay, Nigel, you have one, come on up.
Hello, this is Nigel again. I would like to make another public comment. I'd like to go back to Dr. Bell's comment about the evaluation process. I would like to make sure the purpose of the evaluation, was that for improving her performance or to determine if we want to retain her or not? Can you tell me the difference? That's all I have.
It was,
Thank you.
yes, it was evaluating current performance.
Okay, Dr. Bell.
It was evaluating her performance from May 16th to the current date.
Karen Harris, Nigel.
That was not a straight answer. What I was asking for is if the evaluation was to improve her performance, or was the evaluation to retain her in the position or not? Which one?
Well, it's really, you're really asking the same question. If the concerns that were illuminated were brought to her attention and are being addressed, if the, so So in that regard, it is to help with improvement of her performance, yes. To retain her, yes. If there were major concerns that could not be resolved, then the outcome may have been different. But yes, so her performance to date and the feedback from that to help with job performance and retention. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
So my last comment was, the original superintendent was not given a chance to improve before he was terminated.
Okay, Karen Harris.
Okay, I have a couple of questions about this area. Will the public be given this proposal that was just presented in writing so that we can review these things? Is there any reason that we can't have documentations or minutes to explain to us what went on? I mean, we're very curious. Evaluation. I mean, we're all curious, we want to know. But in the evaluation, you said from May to now. I thought Garrett was here till July. So was she superintendent in May, even before y'all let Garrett go? I'm serious, I'm asking, I want to know.
Catherine Granier was put in charge of acting the day that Ernest Garrett was put on leave, which was May 16. Ernest Garrett was the legal superintendent until July 25th. But yes, Catherine Granier was acting as superintendent going back to May 16th. That's correct.
So she got the job before he got fired? No, he got put on leave. I don't care who it is, as long as it's someone that truly cares about these children and their education. I'm not giving y'all a hard time, I'm just, once again, I'm begging. Matter of fact, I sent all of you an email. No one of you have responded with I received it or anything. So, as a parent, as a public person, if you don't respond to emails, that's why we want y'all to have face-to-face meetings. We don't get responses from phone messages that are left, and we don't get responses to our emails. So, in order to appease us and let us know you really care and are concerned, you should speak to us face-to-face as a group, not as someone that doesn't count. And I just find that y'all are not trying to gain the support and the trust of the public. It's not a he said, she said. It's all about these children. And why would you continue to let someone that has no educational degree, training in the deaf-blind, or blind education field as a unit leader of the SSD? The leader should be special ed trained and have proficiencies involving the deaf and the blind. You can't have someone that does finance run a school. If she wants to do that, she needs to stay out of the education part and leave each school to a director. Oh, but wait. Cooper got rid of the director, so now we don't have a director, and you need to make sure that each school gets a director so that the superintendent can take care of financial meetings and that the schools can run and get their education that they're needed.
Karen, and to everybody, I would like for all of you, because it is a public record, you need to make a public records request for the 21-22 audit that was done by the Department of Education. And on that audit, not under Superintendent Grenier, there is a list of federal compliance issues that have not been met. And this was prior to the board, prior to a lot of people sitting in this room. If you need to be knowledgeable as a parent, you need to make sure that you get your information that is data-driven by a department that is outside of this department that came in and did an audit. I believe if you read that audit from 21, 22, it will be eye-opening to you and it will answer a lot of your questions. Karen?
I'm pretty sure part of that goes all the way back to 18 and 19. It's not.
It doesn't. This isn't a yearly audit that is done. Every school has a yearly audit. So this is specifically to the 21-22 school year. Okay, thank you, Karen. I'm not sure, but the last name is Z-E-R. Zerank.
So it says Saran. Thank you. Just like a lemon pie, right? Saran.
Okay, whew, it's been a long day. Hello, everyone. I am Norma Zarang. I'm here to speak as a parent of an alumnus of LSD that graduated in 2018. So there's still a lot of confusion standing. So I want to show you some, read out loud a letter to you that I have. So I planned to bring out a trash can, but I didn't find one in the room. So it's just my own observations, my own feelings, just from what I'm seeing. It says deaf experts on the paper. SSD seems to have shoved us aside. The next paper says deaf role models. That has been shoved aside. Next paper says SSD team players. That has been shoved aside. Next says ASL interpreters. They don't seem to be valued, I don't think. ASL. That's been shoved aside. Deaf children's education and their future, is that valued? I don't think so. Deaf culture. Shove aside. Deaf doctors. We had 3 here. Now we're down to 1. I don't know if we have any more, but I know of 2 that have been fired. 2 doctors. Deaf doctors. Come on. Deaf staff. Lots of deaf staff here are afraid. They don't want to even come to the meeting. They think they're going to get in trouble or lose their jobs. So, is that fair for them? No. Deaf children's futures. Do we see that? And we can't afford incompetency in SSD and at the administration level. We cannot afford that. We need to hire a superintendent who is knowledgeable in deafness and blindness
etc. The SSD administration is looking for profits. Do they have a hidden agenda? Perhaps. Does SSD want LSD to become an oral school? Maybe. Cochlear implants, CI. That does not work for every child. It does not. Hearing aids, again, does not work for every child. I stopped using hearing aids when I was at the age of 10. They just did not work. They were worthless for me. And I also heard that SSD, those in administration, were putting fear into LSD staff. Also not fair. And from what I'm hearing from some individuals here at SSD, the administration is causing a hostile work environment. Therefore, the staff are intimidated. We need experts, qualified individuals to run these schools, not someone who knows finances. That has nothing to do with education. That's all I have to say. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, we have Amy Schamberger. Amy? She left, okay.
Karen, I have you twice.
Twice?
Yeah, are you good?
I just want to know, is it possible for us not have to go and look for the information? Why, as a SSD, can't y'all just put that information out for the parents without public records
I will
request?
see what I can do with that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Barbara?
Barbara Gresham.
No corrections.
Gresham. No.
My questions have been answered.
Thank you. Nope.
Thank you, April. Okay, so that was our last public comment card.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay, just making sure that I do it right for everybody. Does the board have any discussion about any of the comments that they have heard from the public today and all of our valued supporters who are out in the public that are trying to help us make the school for the deaf and the school for the blind and all the programs that are incorporated better? Okay, so yes, Kenny.
Hello, everyone, again. I was appointed by the governor of Louisiana, John Bel Edwards, onto this board of directors as an alumni. I'm an alumnus. I joined in July. It was the July 25th of 2022. Unfortunately, I had not looked at the previous information, and I was focusing from July 25th on. I was sitting there taking it in, and looking at all the information everything that had occurred prior to that meeting, and situations, and the culture, and everything else, we don't take it lightly. We hear your concerns. We do. We hear it. Children are first. We've talked about that. We've got to be very careful and work it out appropriately and look at where we're going to go when we're moving forward. And hopefully, we'll get it right. Whoever we choose to be the superintendent of the SSD, man or woman, we hope that we choose the right person. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kenny. Do any of our board members have a comment to make to the public?
We still on this motion? We're still finishing out this motion?
Yeah, we just need to vote.
Okay, so we had a first and second on the resolution, the two that I read to you. Now I'm just going to take a vote, and we'll take an individual vote. Mary?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Sherry?
I'm sorry, what I missed, what are we voting on?
This is the resolution that I read, 1 and 2, where Catherine Gagne shall continue to serve.
Yes.
Okay. You're good, Sherry? Dr. Bell? Michelle? Okay. Alicia? Thank you. Kenny?
Yes.
Maria?
Yes.
Audra? And David? And I vote yes as well. Okay, the motion carries. The last item that we have on the agenda is adjournment, but just as the president, yes. Yes,
I
Edward.
think there's one other motion related to what we've been discussing that I wanted to offer up to the board for consideration, and that is, in light of the additional workload taken on by the acting superintendent with both the superintendent job responsibilities as well as the financial accountancy responsibilities for the school district, I believe it is fair and appropriate to ask that the Human Resource Office look into providing some type of a stipend not to exceed 20% of the monthly salary to compensate her for the additional time and workload involved in the job she's doing in addition to her current job.
So you make that motion?
Yes.
Does anybody accept that motion? Second, the motion, Kenny? Thank you. Okay, and we'll take an individual vote. Don't need it? Oh, I'm sorry, public comment. Okay. Any public comment?
Can you repeat what he said so the rest of us can hear it?
Yeah,
you
bring
want me
me this microphone.
Do you want me to restate it? I'll just restate the motion. The motion was that in light of the additional workload carried on by the superintendent of performing two job duties, both the acting superintendent duties as well as the financial responsibilities as well, that the board authorize the Human Resources Department to provide Ms. Gagne with a stipend not to exceed 20% of her monthly salary in compensation for the additional workload that she's taken on in administrative duties as superintendent.
So am I understanding y'all want to give her more money?
That's what it says.
Okay, so, just call me stupid, whatever, but is she gonna be the superintendent, or is she gonna be the financial?
You should be ashamed of yourselves, especially you, Kenny and Mary. You should be ashamed of yourselves.
Okay, we had a motion to approve and a second.
But I wasn't finished with
Oh, I'm
my-
sorry.
So, why don't you make a motion to put someone else in the finance position and leave her in the superintendent, or put her back in finance and somebody else in superintendent? Make it easy, she only needs one job, which one do y'all want her to have?
That question gets resolved when there's a full-time superintendent that is hired, but until that position is hired for, which as you heard earlier, we're working very, very concertedly to make that happen, but in the interim, she's performing 2 jobs.
Any other comment? Yes.
I have a question. If we're gonna give a stipend, Ms. Grenier, what about our teachers and staffs at the school that's doing 2 and 3 jobs because we're so short-staffed?
Thank you.
Principal.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Letitia Small, and I have been working with Special School District on the special school program side since 2009. I have received additional raises. I have not received a step increase since I started in 2009. The governor gave us raises. I received a 2% under a previous administration, and I just think it's a slap in the face for all the hard work that we've put in. I did not receive a step increase this year. As was stated, I was not one of those employees that received one. And I just think, like the lady said, we take on additional responsibilities on a day-to-day basis. And I just think it's a slap in our face for all the hard work and dedication on a day-in, day-out basis that we put in, that they can find, funding can be found for her, but it cannot be found for some of the teachers that are putting in the work in the classroom with the students.
She don't need no more money.
Thank you.
Are we good? Can you see me okay? This is Nigel again. I wanted to ask you a direct question to Captain Grenier. I'd like to have your attention, Captain Grenier.
You can't do that. This is just informational. You're just giving a comment.
Okay, that's fine. So my understanding is, and on May 16th, the board asked to officially have her be the acting superintendent on May 16th, and she accepted it already without discussion of pay at that time, and it hasn't been discussed all this time. And then now you've decided to do that after the fact? After the grievance, after the community complaints, now you're going to give her a raise? That's a spit in the face of the community. There should not be a raise. She needs to, if she wants to stay in her position and be acting superintendent, that's fine, but we need to pay the pay.
Yes.
Jimmy Chalice Gore. How many in the community are happy? Raise your hands. I'm letting you know a lot of the community is not happy. I mean, this is a slap in the face. To give her money, shame on you. Shame on all of you. Shame on you for doing that. Shame, shame, shame on you for giving her the raise.
Any other public comment?
You really want any more? I think you got the
Take what
opinion.
we get. We are a bunch of hard-working individuals who
As a
love what
group.
we do. Karen,
As a group.
I'm gonna ask you to be escorted out, Karen.
No, I just want to ask this group a question,
No.
not you.
You can't do it.
Why?
I'm gonna ask you to be escorted out, and I do not want to do that.
For asking a question? I'm confused. I'm so very confused.
Yes. No questions can't be answered, but you definitely can make a comment.
When Dr. Lane was here, it was discussed that she was director, principal, vice principal, and counselor at her school.
Which is common at a lot of the SSP schools. When I was the director of my school, I was the principal, the counselor, the IEP facilitator, and sub when I needed to.
Was it ever discussed for her to get a pay increase for carrying so many hats?
I'm not sure. I can tell you that that's standard duty as a director or somebody over a school. It is standard duty.
And as a temporary superintendent.
Right, and the board doesn't
stepping into a
control that.
position, perhaps that should just be something that falls under her duties
Right.
until a new superintendent is elected or appointed.
Thank you. Okay, y'all, we still have to go through the vote for the,
Is it the resolution?
No, this is
For
a motion.
Edwards.
okay, we're gonna,
Yes.
okay, hold on, we have one more. That's okay.
Can you see me? Okay. My name is Megan Wimberly. I'm a former teacher here at Louisiana School for the Deaf. I have been here for 10 years. I just wanted to give my comment to please think about the children, their futures, their access to language. Those children have a human right to be viewed as individuals. You are not doing that. This is not a factory. This is not a place where kids are just coming through and everything is just finance-based. So please, remember that, where these children have the rest of their adult lives after living here. So just keep that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we are gonna vote. I'm gonna begin with Mary. Yes.
We're voting now on what?
Yes.
What are we voting on?
This is for the stipend.
I abstain.
Okay. Sherry?
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry, this is Kim. Would you repeat again or missed it?
Kenny, this is the motion to approve the stipend for the acting superintendent until the new superintendent is put in place in January.
Okay, thank you. Oh, yes.
Yes, okay, Mary is a yes. Sherry?
No.
Okay, Edward?
Yes.
Michelle? No. Alicia?
No.
Kenny?
Yes.
Maria?
No.
Audra? Mr. Burton? And Christie is a yes. Do I need to do anything else before I move? Yeah, Mary voted yes, she changed her vote. So the motion carries. Thank you. All right, so the next agenda item is the motion to adjourn. Does somebody make a motion to adjourn? Thank you, Edward. Thank you, Audra. So we will be adjourned. Our next meeting for the public will be February 28th.